Yo, what is going on? And welcome to another episode of the Urban Pitch Podcast, the beautiful game of life, part of the Believe Network. I'm Ramsey Abushala, editor-in-chief for UrbanPitch.com. Julio Matarazzo, Bridget Flores. We're in a new house. Where are we at? Where are we at right now?
Oh, we're outside.
We are outside. We're a very special episode with our LatiNation fam, LatiNation FC. We got the studio, the lights, the cameras. This is crazy. It's like when you...
I look better right now.
I weird. No mic. I look good. I'm comfortable.
We're happy to be here with you guys. This is amazing. I think that joining of two of the best teams of analysts, fans, and passionate fans of this game that unites us. How are you guys doing?
Amazing. Gracias por venir. Thank you for coming. I think this is going to be unforgettable.
Yeah.
Yes. Agreed.
I'm super excited to be here to talk about the game that we all know and love.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Awesome. My friends, thank you for being here. We're very excited. First of all, let's talk about the World Cup. We have a very important games coming along. ¿Cuál es su gallo? Who do you guys think are going to make it to the final spots that we have in the World Cup?
That's a loaded question because you got the Italy kit, so I feel like we should just start there. This is a team, like, you think about, like, football. Like, Italy is one of the premier footballing nations in the world. No World Cup winning nation has missed 3 straight World Cups. And you talk about the pressure of, like, World Cup playoffs. It's already on there. Like, one game, win or go home. The hopes of your entire nation are there. That on top of the pressure of, are they going to fail for the 3rd straight year? I'm hoping for them to. I think they're going to pull it out. They don't have an easy route. Northern Ireland, like,
tough team.
It doesn't sound like a big footballing nation, but I think last time they lost to North Macedonia.
Yes.
So like the curse of the North, like I don't know what it is. But I'm hoping for Italy, and I don't know. What do you guys?
No, because the history of Italy, the last World Cup we had here, Italy was one of the favorites to win the World Cup. From seeing Roberto Di Baggio missing that penalty,
man.
Everybody sees that over and over again. So Italy having players like Del Piero, having historic players, so it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard if they don't make it, especially for their fans that are dying for them to make it back to the World Cup.
Without a doubt, I think that one of the things that it's clear that is happening in Italy is the lack of Italian players on the top teams. We see Serie A right now. You see the top teams, no Italian players that make a difference, and I think that is affecting the national team. What do you think?
I think, obviously, all eyes are on Italy right now. We want to see what happens. I think that they're going to make it past the first stage against Northern Ireland, and they're going to go into the final against Wales.
Yep.
Yeah. However, I'm rooting for Italy. I want them to go all the way into the group stage for World Cup. But looking at the way that it's set up, if they go into the final against Wales, that game is in Cardiff, which is the capital of Wales. Yes. And I think if there's one thing that we might have in common is the idea of the fact that an environment can make a big difference to a game. And so if they're playing in the capital of Wales, against Wales, with the fans, the ambiente, the cultura of Wales there, it could change things for Italy. It's a lot of pressure.
Don't forget that players from Wales love theatricals.
Yeah.
We LAFC fans owe our championship to a Wales player. In the very last minute, raised above the clouds to score that header. So I wouldn't be surprised that the national team, I'm pretty sure Gareth Bale is going to be on attendance in the stadium, motivating the team. But it's crazy to think that a country like Italy that has created a whole style of football, el catenaccio, the defensive order, you're right? Like having a team that is able to build from the back and sustain any amount of pressure without breaking down. Now we see a team that is fighting that identity, right? Like a team that was hoping to score 3-4 goals per game, but in the process they lost the plot.
I mean, when you talk about Italy, you talk about football, right? You say Italy and everything comes to it. They are a potential when it comes to the World Cup, especially, 4 championships, them not being able to make it to 2 and maybe a possible 3rd World Cup is just crazy. But it also goes back to how many players should you allow out of your country, because you got teams in Italy that they don't even have one Italian player for their team.
On the level,
so how do you expect that not to happen when this is happening in your hometown? And that's something that is globally happening in a lot of leagues, in Spain, but it's affecting even Germany. Germany is going through the same path.
Generational change.
But generational change. So for me, I really hope that Italy makes it because son de los reyes del fútbol.
Yes.
Well, the best player in Italy is American. No, but I mean, you look at Italy, their baseball team is going further in global
What's going
tournaments
on?
than their football
What's
team.
going on that now Italy is better in baseball than they are in
They're
football.
taking espresso shots in the dugout.
It's crazy. Now, let's talk about some other games that we're going to have this weekend. And I think that one that we are all rooting for is Bolivia. I think Bolivia had a really good campaign on the qualifiers. They were very close. A couple of results that have gone their way, and they will be in the World Cup already. How high is the chance for Bolivia to make it to the World Cup?
I mean, listen, when it comes to football, I feel like anything is possible, right? And I think the most exciting thing for me and why I'm rooting for Bolivia so hard is the fans, right? At the end of the day, I feel like the fans mean everything, and it means so much to a country. We know how much, football can be intertwined with the country's identity, so I think this would be massive for them, and I'm really excited.
They don't have the altitude on the
Help them out.
That's going to be hard.
Sí, pero, it's diosidencias, right? Last time Bolivia made it to a World Cup was here in the U.S. con el Diablo Echeverri, 1994, and I think it's going to happen again. Bolivia is going to qualify to the World Cup, not only because they look very good in la Conmebol, but also because I think que su pueblo lo merece.
Yeah.
And a veces, I talk about the gods of football that I believe in so much. And I think that this time with Bolivia, they are going to help them to make this World Cup because it's going to be, again, USA again, and it's going to be una fiesta en La Paz, Bolivia.
Yeah.
What other CONCACAF teams do you guys think that we will see in the World Cup?
I want to see Jamaica.
Yes.
Jamaica, just because, just the way they celebrate football, having the reggae and the fans outside. So you want to see Jamaica because Jamaica's a country that lives soccer, has Bob Marley in the stands. You can smell it. So it's a passionate fan base.
Yeah, but I think, and you also see a lot of the Jamaican diaspora, players that are in London or elsewhere that are switching allegiances and joining the team. But issues with the federation have consistently crept up with this team, and it's been a little bit disappointing. Even on the women's side, they made the Women's World Cup for the first time, and their players were striking against the federation because they weren't getting paid for it. And then, players like Damari Gray, I don't know if Michael Antonio is still playing with them, but players of that caliber that are, high-quality footballers, you would expect them to make a tournament like this, but on our podcast, we've had a couple of Jamaican national team players, and they talk about it's just kind of a little bit messy with the federation. And I don't have any inside information. I'm an outsider looking in, but just from that, I want to see them do better because, like Julio said, it's always fun to watch them play. In Nations League or the Gold Cup, they play tough, and the jerseys are great too, and it's great to watch. It'll be great to see those on the world stage, but I don't know if they'll have the juice to come out of that playoff.
I think I feel the same way that you feel about Bolivia and the culture and the gods coming through. I feel the same way for Jamaica. I want to see the reggae boys make it and bring that excitement to their country. I feel like that's going to happen. And selfishly, I do want Bolivia and Jamaica to make it.
Entre más latinos, mejor.
Yeah.
No hay mejor mundial que un montón de latinos. Now, I think that one of the teachings or learnings about this qualifier was that CONCACAF, like many other conferences in the world, is becoming very, the parity in the league is coming. Like when you have teams like Curacao and Haiti qualifying to the World Cup over Guatemala, over
Costa Rica.
Trinidad y Tobago, over Costa Rica, over Honduras, countries that have been for many, many years closer and closer to qualifying. And suddenly you have these teams, granted, fed by a big amount of players from the championship, second and third divisions in Europe. But to your point, maybe some of these federations are doing a better job of harnessing the little resources that they have, and some other ones that have more success or maybe a little budget, you see corruption creeping in. Like you said, messy behaviors that turn off the audiences and turn off the fans and say like, hey, what are you doing with my team? We have everything behind it. But I'm excited for Curacao. Curacao, I think they might not have, the odds on their favor, but just this idea that such a small country is going to be part of this mega event just warms my heart. What do you guys feel is the ceiling for a team like Curaçao?
Honestly, just for them to be in the World Cup, they should be happy. A lot of people complain about adding more teams to this World Cup, but it's okay. Like, imagine you're gonna see. I'm Salvadorian. I can remember my dad talking about still that '82 World Cup they went to. So this is gonna be a story for kids, grandkids to have. So just enjoy the moment, enjoy those 3 games because you're not gonna make out the group stage.
He's trying to get El Salvador's last record.
Somebody got to beat them 13-0.
And you know what? And believe it or not, it's going to make a generation change on football culture in their country, right? Because having them qualify to the World Cup, all those kids right now growing up, seeing, even if they don't even score 1 goal,
Yes.
the fact that they're making the World Cup, you're going to see more kids wanting to play football and wanting to be part of it. So the culture around it is going to change dramatically on their country. Like I can guarantee you that's going to happen. And that's the beauty of having more teams in the World Cup. Yeah, it's it's going to be a lot. Maybe the true World Cup, we're going to see it in los octavos de final. But it's a party. El Mundial is a party for everybody. And the fact that we're able to see countries that we never thought of that are going to be participating, I think is just unbelievable and amazing.
It's also exposure, right, to our smaller countries that, like you said, hacen mucho con menos. And I think for them, it's like, this is all I have for me right now and then until the next 4 years. So I have to show up, I have to show out. And like you said, the younger generations now are gonna watch that and they're gonna, for the next 4 years, grow up with that and turn that into something passionate, something impactful. And who knows, maybe that changes the trajectory of what their life looks like in the next 4 years.
Yeah.
And then you have the reality that when players make it to the World Cup, immediately their value goes through the roof. Immediately they are of interest to bigger teams. And it's just like you bring the whole country up and allow to have this new generation feeling that local talent. And again, Curaçao doesn't have a powerful local league. I don't know if they have a league at all. But the fact that they have so many players in Europe training and learning the game at that level gives them an edge versus Guatemala, versus El Salvador, that they might not have that ability to export players at that rate.
Yeah.
And it's also sad for teams like El Salvador and Guatemala, countries that really deserve a World Cup. I mean, you go to El Salvador match anywhere in the United States, and I get chills because when you hear them singing the national anthem, for example, and even though they know that they're not going to win, they show up, and they show up with passion, and they support. Same thing with Guatemala.
Yeah.
It will be beautiful to have, one of those 2 teams in the World Cup. And not
Next
both.
World Cup, don't worry.
But no, look,
124
if it didn't happen with Mexico, USA, and Canada not being part of it, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
In the future. Like, let's be honest about it. There's a long path for teams like El Salvador and Guatemala for them to be able to qualify to a World Cup in the near future. Maybe if they put 100 teams, with all due respect.
But even then,
por favor, no.
even with Guatemala, I remember watching the game. Remember the day that you came to pick something
Yeah,
up? Was it against
the
Panama,
qualifying
right?
game. Yeah, that was
Oh
a
my
crazy
God! Like my best friend's Guatemalan, so her family was over at our place watching the game, and I was like, all of us were just like there watching the TV. Like we couldn't let go of the fact that they were so close. They were so close. They could have dominated one different play that could have made a big difference to the game. They could have made it into the qualifiers. It was like right there. It was at the tip of their tongues, and they just couldn't execute, and it hurt. It hurt for me to see it because I'm like, you're right there. You're so close. It was an opportunity, but then again, that's just like the beauty of the game.
It is. And you know what is beautiful right now? The new jerseys.
Yes.
The new jerseys that have been dropping everywhere. Jordan with Brazil, the Mexico second kit. What are you guys' favorites? What do you guys feel like? Are we really doing right with the fashion to these kids, or they're doing too much?
I mean, I think the amount of jerseys that dropped last week was it was hard to. It took me 2 days to just kind of look at all of them, properly give each one a look. And they did a big Adidas event here in LA, and You know, we didn't get invited to that, but I was a little bit salty about it. But I
Welcome to
can't.
the club.
I know.
We're like,
It's the Spider-Man meme.
You know, and as much as I want to be salty about it, like I can't be because they all look so
They did
great.
great. They did great.
The details.
Great event, too.
I think the
Looked nice.
what you see when
afar.
like from a design perspective, nothing is like too crazy or too out there, especially with the away jerseys.
Yeah.
Normally, like with the away kits, like you'll see like crazy patterns or
Yes.
wild colors. It's not really. It's more simple, but the details are like even with like Curaçao's. Like,
Curaçao's the best
the
jersey.
three different
Yeah.
stripes going down. Spain has a really cool collar and like the number setting, like everything just from an execution standpoint. And I love the old school retro trefoil.
Yeah,
logo.
The trefoil is just.
So they're pulling on the nostalgia strings. They're realizing they're putting more investment into their jerseys because they realize this is a huge marketing opportunity, and in addition to the sales portion of it. So from like from a jersey appreciator, I love to see effort being put into all of not just the jersey but the rollout, the campaigns.
Yeah,
like
execution.
Jordan in Brazil did a huge thing. Like it's a great time to be a fan of jerseys right now, even though it feels like sometimes we could be getting like oversaturated with the amount of releases.
And
Oversaturated. I mean, it's so many designs. Every I feel like it's every other 2 weeks they come
Yeah.
up with a new one. But you know, unfortunately, what's happening with football? They're taking it away from el pueblo, right? Because soccer is it was meant to be for la gente más pobre,
Yeah.
right? For el pueblo. Right now, to buy a jersey, it's crazy, man. It's at least $150, and especially like the national teams, the World Cup coming up, and it keeps getting more expensive and more expensive. And let's not even talk about the tickets to go to the World Cup, right?
Parking, like, yeah, it's crazy.
It's beautiful that they make these crazy designs. You know, they're amazing, but where is it gonna stop? You know, at what point are they really gonna cater to the real soccer fans, which is la gente no pobre, but la
Pero la
gente
gente
del
working
pueblo.
people.
Yeah,
The
Yeah, working class.
hardworking
The people.
people.
The one that-
Imagine I have a lot of kids. If I want to
Good
buy
for
them
you.
a Mexican a jersey, I gotta spend at least
$1,000
$1,000.
to
Yeah,
pick up your
That's
family. That's a lot of
and,
money.
and back in the day, it was not that bad. Right now, I think that football is becoming como se luxury.
Luxury.
Sure.
And I don't think that's right.
And we can-
Honestly, I'm against that because, yeah, it's cool, whatever, but creo que tiene que ser más para el pueblo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be great if they come out with the player version, the replica version, and then the Timu version.
No, you know they gotta bring back. They
The
gotta bring the
cell
94, the 94 with the Brazil with the Ronaldo on the side.
Ronaldo,
Yeah, the face. We gotta bring those back.
No, I mean, you can always go to Tepito, right?
Barrio
You're
Tepito.
not even gonna notice that it's a replica or a copy or whatever.
Yeah.
But the point is that, you know, football's becoming very expensive. Unfortunately for us that we love football, it's just, para mí, sorry,
Yeah.
no me alcanza.
You're not wrong. When I look at jerseys, I'm like, do I buy for me or do I buy for my dad? Like, who?
There you go.
Sometimes he wins, sometimes I
He's
win.
got a lot of jerseys. I don't know how that's possible looking that.
I'm guilty of that. I like jerseys. I get a few of them. Now, let's talk about more jerseys because not only the national teams drop jerseys, NWSL dropped their jerseys, and some of them were truly fire. And for me, the growth of women's sports in general, but also here in the United States, NWSL is growing. New teams, new jerseys. What's your guys' take on the league and how teams are representing themselves through their kids?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bridge, you want to go?
I was just gonna say, and this touches on the NWSL jerseys, but something that we've talked about a lot that we're seeing, not just with the World Cup jersey drops, the NWSL drops, MLS drops, jersey drops, is the fact that so many of the brands that are dropping these jerseys are playing on the factor of fashion.
Yeah.
And every jersey that we're seeing being dropped currently, there's design, there's pattern, there's identity, there's culture behind it.
Storylines.
There's storylines, and I think that to me that is super exciting because there was a point in time where we would have these jersey conversations and it'd be like, there was not much there, but this one has color. But now we get to talk about, well, look at the Brazil jersey, like they have the flag embedded in the graphics, and so it's really exciting times. I do agree it's not as accessible for everybody, but we're seeing an evolution of the design aspect, which is really exciting. Going into NWSL, Off the top, I think the three of us agreed that the Angel City home
Oof.
kit.
It's so good.
The best,
It's
hands
the
down.
best.
Not like-
Hands down?
Hands, it has to
Might
So
be.
be that
sick.
we're from LA, yes, but
Maybe.
Probably
I
because
think
we're better.
exactly.
It catches
It
the
catches
eye
your
so
eye.
well, and like the
and
set.
just how it brings it to the
Yeah,
heart.
it reminds me of like La Rosa de Guadalupe when the,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Rosa
yeah,
just
yeah,
Well, there's-
I was gonna say it's giving them, it's giving them
and the way that they
juju.
started the season.
Yeah.
I know.
Hey.
They're first place
the more,
right now.
That's the more
Yeah.
surprising thing to me because Angel City, from a Jersey's perspective, from like a team marketing and like fan base perspective, they've done a very good job with that. The one thing about the team is we haven't seen the results for the most part come. And I'm Angel City season ticket holder, and last year, halfway through the season, I was like, I'm checked out. I don't even want to watch anymore. Like I was going to the games, but like just to have a good time. Now these first two games, like it's like, what am I watching? I don't know the last time we scored back-to-back 4 goals and 3 goals.
Yes.
And like I don't know if that's ever happened in team history. First time that they've won 2 games to start the season. New coach, he's the first full, it's his first full season as head coach. They brought in a couple of new players.
Yeah, and they're working.
And Svendes Jan's daughter to me
Yes.
is, I kind of like hinted that she'd have a breakout season. I didn't like. I should now like
Now you
you know
should've
like,
said it.
I didn't want like the retrospect to like make it seem like I was like out of my head, but she's just such a fun player to watch.
And they're still missing a few players on the bench that are, recovering. Yeah, Junendo.
Junendo, Cindy LaRue supposedly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Just those
hopefully,
2
yeah.
players.
Yeah.
Big.
Alone
World
will make
class,
such a
Yeah.
national team members of Japan and the United States. One of the things I did notice is that maybe that feeling that you had last season still is being carried over to the
lingering.
season because the performance of the team is it's on the pitch, but the people did not show up for it.
Yes.
Which was very surprising, knowing like the marketing machine that they have, the close-knit community that has been built around the team. What do you guys think that is going on? Is like people more discerning with their ticket and saying like, if until you guys really prove that you guys are committed to winning, we won't be paying.
I'm surprised it took this long for that to happen because the first 3 seasons they were still selling out games. The crowds were full, and then last year I don't think they sold out a game last year. It was the first time they didn't sell out a game.
I mean, it's results, right? Like you said, if you don't want to go watch a losing team, it just makes you sad. But I think like we're seeing these past couple of games, it's giving them that momentum, which will hopefully fill the stadiums. But even looking at other teams, 2 new brand expansions, Denver and Boston.
Yeah.
I want to say, I think Boston got like 50,000 people in their inaugural game. They're drawing in massive numbers. So I think even when you look elsewhere in the league, like you're still seeing a lot of support behind women's soccer, which is great.
Yeah.
And growth, right? Like we see these.
And the good part about it, listening to you guys when we're doing the LatiNation, the fact that they're not teams related to the MLS brands.
Yes.
Right.
That's
We were
because
they're not
debating this.
reliant.
We
Yes,
were
they're not-
debating this actually.
Yes, that's
of-
spectacular. For me, it's like that tells you like how strong the league is without
Yes.
having a name like LAFC or Galaxy or DC United behind you and creating your own brand and your own everything. I think it's just amazing, and just to see the sport grow the way it's growing, not just in the U.S. but also in other countries. That women's soccer, I think it's just very beautiful.
Let me drop a controversial take
Dale.
right now.
Let's see it.
Gotham FC has done more to have a brand that is connected to the city than Red Bulls or New York City Football
That
Club
is
has
true.
ever
That is
done.
That is
Not
true.
wrong.
Their jersey
Fact.
alone.
Their
Their
jersey
jersey
alone.
alone
Yeah.
this year, it's like you see it. You don't. If I covered the name, you know where they're from, and I think that's what speaks the most to it.
Even like their second season when they take the picture right under the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they are more New York than both of those
Than
teams.
They
both
got
of
it
them.
right
Exactly.
away.
Yeah, they got it right at the right way.
One place in New Jersey, the other one place in a baseball stadium.
Yeah.
Now we
One
have a
represents
true
Manchester City, the other one represents Red Bull.
Right, exactly. They both have
Yeah.
like
You're not
like
wrong.
separate
corporate interest
entities
behind
yeah,
it.
Yeah,
very
yeah.
Often we
true.
see it that it worked for them, champions, unlikely champions at all
Yeah.
last season. No, like the first half, they were a terrible team.
Even their first championship, they came. I think they were like the last place team to make it in the. They barely snuck in the
Barely.
playoffs, and then
Exactly.
they,
And that's exactly what people want. Those storylines are that what make fans
Yeah.
out of spectators, especially here in the United States. That there's a lot of competition for eyeballs in the sports, in the women's sports world. Like nowadays, after the Winter Olympics, we have a tremendous growth of people watching women's hockey.
right.
Yeah.
Right? We see the growth of WNBA that now just had a brand new
CBA.
agreement, and now the players from $30,000 a season, they're making $500,000 a season. So all across the board, we see women's sport growing, and I think NWSL has an edge to take a big part of the pie. Now, I would also like to talk about how they have drawn inspiration from Liga MX, right? Liga MX
Yes.
Femenil, it's a league that is very mature, that they decided, unlike NWSL, to align with the male teams, and that has given them some edges, right? Because you have 5 teams that are dominating the league, but they are also setting a very high standard that allows them to be selling a lot of players for NWSL. Do you guys see that increasing, that traffic between players, both in the men and the women's side, from Liga MX to NWSL?
Yeah, we were just talking about Chivas, how they have 3 American-born players killing it out there.
Yep.
So, but I believe more in the Liga MX Femenil, it works for them because MLS, a lot of the people that there are fans for these teams, they don't have that history. My dad was a Toluca fan, a Puebla fan. But if you go to Mexico, like, it's like, yeah, I'm a Toluca fan because of my dad, my grandpa, my great-grandpa. So it works with them because they have history behind it. MLS still building their history.
It's the global standard, like in Europe, right? It's like Chelsea's women's team, Arsenal women's team. Like they all have that connection because of the history. And it's in MLS there is, or NWSL there is like some NWSL MLS connections, like with Portland, Utah. Like there are
Houston
still
as well.
some. So there's some of that, but when you see, like, we've talked to Jen Munoz, who played for Club America, and then like just the chance to play at the Azteca, because they don't play all the games at the Azteca, but like special matches, they get to play there, and that's such a probably the premier soccer venue in the entire world. Like when you like even more so than some of the like Wembley or the European stadiums, like being able to play in that, there just isn't the equivalent of that here in the U.S.
No.
And when
maybe Mercedes-Benz.
if they were
But the history behind
but
it,
not the
El
history,
Templo,
just
que
the
es el
size.
Azteca, is...
You can't
Chiva,
get history.
You're gonna go to Mexico
Sí, señor.
to watch Mexico versus Portugal. What are your feelings about going to this, renovated stadium? Probably one after Maracaná, probably the most iconic stadium in the world.
I'm
¿Qué se siente?
very excited. You know, the Azteca was built in the 60s, the beginning of the 60s, and right now he's the first ever, renovation and all this time, and being able to be part of it, I'm not gonna go to the World Cup. I don't think I'm gonna go to the World Cup.
We'll figure it out.
Manifest it. I will be there.
Thank you.
You'll be there.
I love it.
LatiNation can open up the budget.
We're gonna collab. We'll all go.
6 tickets.
Say. So being there, being part of history, because it is history, right before the World Cup, I think is very exciting, regardless of if Ronaldo's gonna go or not. I go there to support Mexico, regardless of who they take. And he's just I think it's gonna be an amazing experience. Football, when you travel, away days are the best days, right? Anywhere you go in the world, or here in the U.S. or whatever you go, when you do an away day, it's not just the game. It's the whole experience of how you get there, donde duermes, what you eat, who do you get to meet, and I think it's gonna be an amazing experience, and I'm gonna come back with more una raya más al tigre. Como
Claro.
Sí.
That was my very first soccer game I ever went in my life, was in a World Cup in Estadio Azteca in 1986.
Wow.
I was 5 years old, and my parents took me to Mexico versus Bulgaria, and it's ingrained in my brain since then. Negrete, that goal. I don't remember the goal, but I do remember flashes of like 80,000 people. I think that game they allowed 90,000 plus. It was actually in Estadio Azteca, the previous construction allowed for 120,000 people standing up.
Wow.
They rarely allow that many people, but it's unheard of in the world. Now, we have this World Cup in the United States. Are you guys worried about any logistics that might take a little bit of the shine of the competition?
Yeah, we've definitely talked about that.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna see a lot of impact that comes with the World Cup, not just the games and the experiences, and even just watch parties around the city, but just also the foot traffic, transportation. And we've debated on this as well. Like, I don't know if LA is necessarily ready to take on that much public transportation and accessibility. It's gonna happen regardless, but it's gonna be a little tough and challenging to test out. And I don't know. The thought for me of like thinking about going to SoFi during the World Cup, it doesn't excite me. I'd
You
rather,
can barely go there for a concert
Yeah.
nowadays.
Right.
The traffic.
Oh my God.
And
It's
rumor
so
has it that you won't be
frustrating.
able to park at SoFi. The parking is 3 miles away.
It's like a crypt.
And then people are
not
going to start
crypto.
getting shuttled. How many people are going to be late for the game?
Exactly.
The thing is, you're either way too early to these games to get in inside stadium, because if you make it on time, you have to make them long lines to even get in the
it's
stadium.
horrible.
So
Then in the
it's
second
gonna be
half.
horrible.
Not
You
just
get
that,
lucky.
but there's been times where I've gone to, for example, I went to a concert at SoFi, but at the same time, the Forum had something going on, and then Intuit Dome had something going on. It was the worst
disaster.
traffic ever. So I'm like, can you only imagine like what the World Cup is going to bring?
And now, an elephant in the room for us that here in LA. One of the biggest games that I was very excited about is Belgium versus Iran. There's such a big Persian community in Los Angeles. For me, it was going to be such a party to see this big part of LA come together, celebrate their team, and now that has been taken from them. How are we feeling about this World Cup? That might be one of the most political World Cups without being said to be one. Now it's in the middle of so many global conflicts. Do we think that the World Cup is going to be able to like bring us together around these issues, or the issues are going to be more powerful than the power of the World Cup?
It's so hard to even like think about how that's gonna be like implemented. And the first thing that you said when you, or the first thing I thought when you said logistics, I didn't even think about parking or like public transport. I thought about like the visas, like the whole visa situation.
100%.
Like getting fans, like fans aren't even going to be able to travel. And you think about something that's supposed to unite everyone, and we might not be able to provide that. It's going to be such a like mark on the tournament as a whole, regardless of how good the games are, how good everything else is. But to have a team not be able to make it, have fans not being able to come, even players are going to have to pay
$15,000
crazy amounts
as
of
a
money.
bond for 4 countries. Even their players going to have to pay $15,000 just to come into the country.
Yeah.
That's not welcoming at all.
Yeah.
But like, especially for a World Cup, like you see Argentina, what they were going through in the last World Cup, the crisis they were going with, whatever they were having in the country, how a World Cup can unite a nation. And it's happened you hear stories like this, like nations are going through trouble and the World Cup helps them come together as people and forget about what's going on and just make them feel normal again, even though whatever they're going through. So it sucks to see this taking over their accomplishment of making the World Cup. So it's horrible.
I think throughout history, right, football in general and the World Cup has been able to stop wars.
Yes.
Make people come together, and unfortunately I don't see that right now. You know, with Infantino kissing, the president's
The Orange Man, yeah.
sí, señor.
The
You know, with
the Timu Prize Award, Visa Award winner.
Exactly. You know, all that, and it's just sad. You know, because the World Cup is about uniting. It's about us coming together. It's about understanding that it doesn't matter where you're coming from. You know, we are all united through one thing, which is la pelota y el fútbol. Y lo están manchando. You know? It's sad. And it goes back to the money también. It's about the money. It's about everything else. It's about politics. And it's not about the true spirit of the sport.
Yeah,
right?
and I think that's also not new to the World Cup. There's so much if you look at the World Cup history, there's so many moments in time at every World Cup that there's been a political movement or stance or initiation because of the impact that the World Cup brings to any country that's hosting. And I think that there's so much controversy about sports aren't political, sports are political. And I think this very moment in time is proving that sports are political, and you are going to see players, teams, fans, communities, cities, countries speaking and voicing where they stand and how they feel about their country and the impacts that this is having on them. And I think we're going to see a lot of that in the World Cup, but it's also been, if we look back in history, it's already been existing.
I remember in South Africa, there were a lot of talk about how you will go to the stadiums and they will have like miles and miles of fencing, so you couldn't see what the reality of the country was when you were approaching the stadiums. Qatar was under the, the fact that a lot of these stadiums were built under basically slave labor,
Yes.
people that had their passports removed and taken away so they could keep working, people that died during the construction. I have to bring this up. We have the most famous player in the world walking into the White House with the president being all cozy and happy, and then you contrast that image of Messi abiding by the system, and you compare it to Maradona, you compare it to Cantona, you compare it to so many megastars that have chosen to make a stance and say, we can use the power of our fame and our place in the football world for good and to stand for what is right, even though that means that I'm going to be banned for 9 months for kicking a guy on the stands, even if that means that I will always be branded as a revolutionary and a troublemaker, and FIFA will make my life impossible like they did with Maradona.
Or not welcome.
What
to
is
the-
the responsibility of those who are the biggest stars in the game here in the United States? Because that's what concerns me.
Yeah.
You bring Messi and he becomes immediately de facto the face of the sport, and millions of kids all around the world, they see this and they're like, is he with him? Is he supporting that? Like, should us in the US as fans, as people that are committed to the growth of the sport, should be more vocal and say like, maybe that's not the person who should be representing us as the growth factor of the game. What do you guys feel?
But you see Argentina media, and they talk about we're not Latinos. We're more European descent than we are Latinos.
Yeah.
So, and they have a long history of saying things, doing things of that it doesn't go with what some of us believe in. So, sometimes you do have to put political in the game aside, but at that point when your people are being hurt, you have to make a stand, either you're with us or you're with them.
Yeah. And for me, silence and not saying anything is saying something within itself, especially when, I mean, he's held at, in my opinion, the highest pedestal, you know what I mean? So he has such an opinion and such a sway, and I think he lost a golden opportunity to stand up for what he was.
And the crazy part is not just him, but Ronaldo too, because
Exactly.
he
I was
also
just
was
gonna say,
in
yeah.
appearance.
Both
with
the
them.
biggest, the most known
The biggest
players.
debate that you go to a school, you're with kids, the first thing they're gonna ask you is
Messi
Ronaldo
or
or
Ronaldo?
Messi?
Yeah.
And they both showed up and did
What does that
something
say to the future generation?
Exactly.
It's wild because I think you mentioned, Maradona, Cantona, like even American athletes of that same era in the 70s, Bill Russell,
Yes.
Jackie Robinson, Muhammad Ali, like were very vocal, and Muhammad Ali went to jail for not, he didn't want to fight in the Vietnam War. Like now everything is so calculated, everybody's so media trained, you don't want to ruin any opportunities for yourself. Even the guys that do like speak out, it's like, how genuine is that?
Yeah.
Like, are they backing up their words with, they're silent on this thing, and I think it's exhausting for athletes being in that position. I couldn't imagine what it would be like, and to risk everything, then to put everything out there. But at the same time, it's like, what point do you make a principled stand and be like, I need to stand up for what I think is right, and not just take the easy way out and shake some hands, smile, and take a few pictures. And it's such a hard position to be put in, but I don't know who's making, like, who's talking out and who's speaking out on like at the same level as those athletes in the past are.
Yeah.
I think they're, like you said, they're put in a, between rock and a hard place.
Yes.
Because we build them up to become these semi-gods, right? They are the most famous. They have access to everything that they can dream of. We give them this place, but then we take responsibility away from them as well. Like, no, es solo Messi. Él no se preocupa de la política.
It was just a
he just want to
picture.
play. It's like, no, bro. Like, this guy is a billionaire.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a little kid that doesn't know how the world works. This guy has advisors. This guy has a whole group of people advising him of what's happening on the world, on the optics of whatever he's gonna do, and it is hard for me to understand why he will say, yes, I'm gonna lend my brand for that,
Yes.
right? he is in a very particular position. He is, indebted to FIFA. He's indebted to MLS. He's indebted to Adidas.
Apple
He
TV.
has a lot of
Everything.
bosses. He has a lot of bosses that have a lot of pull. And there might be an instance where he doesn't have the complete freedom that we would like him to have.
It's crazy though when you can't let Messi go with like he don't want him to push the needle when he is the needle. I'm drinking red wine and Sprite now. Why? Because of Messi. It's like
It's pretty good.
yes, but like, he is the needle. Like we will follow whatever he does.
Yeah.
So it was a little
Like,
bit
can you
disappointing.
imagine if he used that power
Yes.
for
Exactly.
greater
For-
good?
But
Like,
then,
what impact would that would bring?
on the other hand, we're seeing a president that has threatened everybody.
Yes.
And maybe him not going or anybody that. I'm going to speak about myself. I'm always a person that it's always, si hay una marcha, I'm there. Anything that is towards support my people, I'm there, even on social media, but I'm afraid of doing it right now. I'll be
Yes.
straightforward. I'm a resident, and I'm afraid of speaking up for my people. And it's sad to say, because of the government that we have right now.
Yeah.
That we're being threatened. One of my friends is an attorney and an immigration attorney. The first thing she sent the message is like, Julio, don't even dare.
Yeah.
You can get in trouble. You can get everything taken away. Like, I know who you are. I know what you do. Just stay low. And maybe.
And if it's on our scale,
Imagine at that level.
Imagine
So
at that level, like
it's not an excuse,
Yeah.
but it is something that is a reality, that is happening. That unfortunately we're going through all these crazy things going on in the world, and especially here in the U.S.
And it's the complete antithesis of what everything like they're trying to. They say they want in America.
Yes.
That's the
Yeah.
complete antithesis of what America is about. Like I should be able to say, I should be able to speak my mind. I should be able to speak truth to power. I should be able to do everything without feeling a little bit of fear in the back of my mind that stuff is going to happen to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's exhausting to think about. It's easy to just kind of turn it off,
Yes.
but at the same time, it's like you can't do it.
But
you
it's
cannot
impossible.
separate things.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it sucks because something we are known as Americans is how to throw a party.
Yes.
So we have the biggest party coming to our country, and a lot of this is overshadowing when we can just throw the biggest party, have the biggest, funnest World Cup like in '94.
Más en Los Angeles,
Yeah.
hermanos. We're the capital of the world. That's the way I see it. It's so diverse that we represent the world through Los Angeles, right? And then having those issues here in LA with the World Cup coming up, I mean, it's, como dices tú,
It's hard. It's
awesome.
hard to be excited for something that's
It
so
is.
big
It
that
is
we're
hard
all
to be
so
excited.
passionate
Yes.
about when we know the realities that our family, our friends, our
Yes.
community are going through. It's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow, and
Yep.
it sucks because it's right here. It's coming right to our city, our doors, and we just don't know how to take it in without feeling like we're
or what to do or how to react.
Exactly,
Or,
exactly.
So let's bring it to a positive note.
Yes, I was gonna say.
What is it that we, as hosts, that will be here in LA, will receive a lot of people from all around the world? What is it that we can do to make all these people that will actually make it to the World Cup feel welcome and actually experience, the level of good host that we can be? What are we planning to do for all the people coming?
Invite them to the carne asada.
Exactly.
Happy first round on me. Where at?
Shot in a beer, shot in a beer.
Sí.
What are you guys expecting from the fan fest, from the watch parties? What are you guys expecting for the vibe in the city during the World Cup?
People sharing stories from their cultures, cultures uniting, food, just people just enjoying themselves, especially with what's going on. That friendliness that we all need to have, having that dialogue and speaking to people that you never thought you were going to speak to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to be amazing.
I think
Exactly.
obviously inviting them to the carne asada would be great, but I think in times that are so difficult, coming towards your community is always the biggest way to show up for yourself,
Yes.
to show up for the people around you. So I think as hosts, as people that are a part of the spaces with the game, like just be united, like enjoy the games, enjoy the rivalry, but at the end of the day, remember, we're coming together for one sport.
We will represent the football culture.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like Benito said, spread love.
Yes.
Right? Just
Hey,
spread love,
exactly.
positivity. That's all we can do.
And I love that we're carrying that way, right? Like we
Yeah.
had such a big Latino-centric event with the Super Bowl that we all feel special. We all feel like that we can bring something unique to the party. who are the teams that you are most excited to root for during the World Cup?
I mean, obviously Mexico, right? This is so exciting. Like I can't even imagine. It's gonna be so exciting here in LA. Imagine in Mexico, like in your own home. I'm so excited. I'm hoping this is the year we break the curse.
Right.
And we get through the round of 16. Please, please.
I'm with you on that one, 100%. I'm huge with Mexico. Obviously, my family's Mexican, but I'm also very curious and excited for the U.S. I'm hoping that they do well. I think it's about time that we see some progress, and I know my guys over here love the U.S. team.
You guys are excited, and I'm more like
Nervous.
oh my God. To me, it's just like I don't know what to expect from this team.
Yeah.
We've seen ups and downs, peaks and valleys, plenty of chaos, and I think a lot of sports fans thrive on that chaos. But for me, I want boring. Like structure and a clear vision of what we're trying to do, and that's not been the case for.
Let me tell you something that has never happened before with the U.S. national team. Me, that I'm a U.S. national team hater. Okay. U.S. national team hater. Camera, where are you? U.S. national team hater, not the country. This is my country. I love this country. We're talking about football here, okay? So relax. It's the fact that for the first time ever, they have all these players playing in Europe.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the squad that you guys have. You know, all these players that are being key part players in top clubs in Europe. He's going to make a huge difference. Now, on the other hand, you have Mexico that for the first time ever, I don't even know who's going to play. I don't even know what style of
Our
football they're
goalie's
going to
gone.
play.
Ochoa's gonna have to revive again.
Something's out here just battling instead of playing soccer.
That's crazy.
What are we doing here?
You know, it's like, for Mexico, it's tough. And then we're going to play in Mexico and whatever. But I think for the U.S., honestly, having this coach that you guys have is an amazing coach. And the fact that you have a lot of youngsters.
Yes.
You know, I will be very excited if I will support the U.S. because it's a very strong team that I'm a believer that when it comes to the World Cup, like for example with Mexico, even though I don't see Aguirre finding a style of football for my team, I think that once the players get on the field and they realize that they're in the World Cup, they're gonna perform at their top level. Same thing is gonna happen with the U.S.
But I'm just happy that we have 3 North American teams at Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. that are part of the World Cup, and they're all expected to do great things in this World Cup. So see, especially for Canada that came in with this golden generation, what helped Canada out was the U.S. not making it to the World Cup. So the U.S. not making the World Cup. A lot of the academies for the MLS teams, Vancouver Whitecaps, they were able to build up this new golden generation for both. Seeing MLS players, especially for Canada, playing in Canada, and they're doing a great paper. They're doing great tournaments. So seeing them,
With a great coach as well, Jesse March.
Jesse
He's a
March.
very good coach.
But I want to see Brazil going back to being what Brazil is.
Yeah, same.
It kind of sucks because I do see now that Brazil has that Jordan brand. I will wish that Neymar was still with Nike because it'll be the best rollout, a Neymar Jordan collab.
Yeah.
But even just having Neymar back in as a team as a leader, hopefully they bring him on.
I think he will.
He has to go.
He took that call very well. I would have crashed out.
Exactly.
I think that he knows that he's
He's on camera.
The camera's off in my crazy.
Smiley face on top, but behind he's all mad. Yeah. But they look at Neymar like Argentina looks at Messi. It's like they love him, they revere him, and Argentina won that World Cup a lot in part because the players are playing for Messi.
Yes.
And you look at Brazil with or without Neymar, the numbers are very skewed, and you can say whatever you want about Neymar. People are saying crazy stuff about him.
Yeah.
The amount of disrespect he's received in the past 2 weeks is insane.
Yeah.
First off, second off, it doesn't matter what stage of career he's at. He's always going to be
leader.
a revered figure.
Yeah.
The way that Ronaldo, the way that Ronaldinho, where Kaká, all these Brazilian greats, he's for sure already set in that pantheon.
And they need that experience, right? All these youngsters, they need that voice that tells them, guys, we've been here, we've done that, relax, don't freak
It's
out.
almost Brazil because sometimes they forget they're Brazil.
But what happened to the Fenomeno of that 2002 World Cup? He was coming from all them injuries.
All those injuries.
And he scored the 2 goals in the final against Germany. So you need a guy like that. In clutch times, they can do big moments. So,
But it's a tough time for Brazil because they used to have a dime a dozen of those guys, and now it doesn't seem like Brazilians are moving the needle so much, or there's so many playing in such a concentrated positions on the field. Like they all play up top.
Yeah.
You don't have that those really strong
Lucio.
Roberto
Brazilian
Carlos.
defenders.
Yeah.
Like that
Right,
backline
right.
of Brazil that made it
Gaúcho,
really
yeah.
balanced. Now you have like a Rolls Royce from the midfield up, but then you struggle a lot to feel a consistent backline. And I think that has hurt them a lot. Any players that you guys feel will be the standout players on this World Cup?
Specific players, or you go?
Yeah, I believe Son. He's playing for
Yeah.
LAFC now, big Korean market out here. So for his people, I know Karen said he was going to score a goal for the U.S. It's not going to happen.
Scored an goal in the knockout stage. Yeah.
Come on, Karen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so but like seeing Son, he's getting accustomed to the community. I feel like he's having a big World Cup.
You think he's gonna have a big World Cup?
Yes.
Even at this stage in his career, you think he's
still
at
has
that
it.
level? You think he'll be like on the pitch the entire time for him, or he'll be like an impact sub? What do you think?
No, like Bill back in the last World Cup, 75 minutes a game. 75 minutes a game.
Yeah, and then
Son, who do you have?
If he's available and 100%, Gilberto Mora. I think he's going to be a future superstar if he's 100% recovered from his injury. I think mentally he's a strong kid. His parents are taking him on the right path, and he's a very, very good player. So creo que va a ser su mundial.
You think the Mexican teams Mexican league is hurting, putting that big price on him, or should they just let him go just to go to Europe?
Look, man, I'm going to tell you something. The difference between Mexico and U.S. is the fact that the U.S. is so easy for the players to go to Europe because, even MLS, they always come and steal their talent. They don't even make money. They steal their talent. In Mexico, you see a player like Hormiga, and right away a team from Europe comes and asks for them, and you want to ask for
50
10,
million.
15
Yeah.
million. And they get paid really good amount of money in Mexico. So for them to go
Not
to
motivated
Europe,
to leave.
they have to cut their salary in half sometimes, and that's why they rather stay in Mexico. So of course it's affecting La Liga MX. That has to change if we want players in Europe.
And also they want to have the bragging rights, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Most expensive transfer.
Yeah.
For Cholos, it will be transformative.
Yes.
To have that level of money coming to the team. I think Abreu has been doing a great job
Yeah.
because Gilberto Mora is just the most known of the 5 teenagers that Cholo has right now. That are part of the under 20, sub 19, like they are
Including
in
El
all the
Loquito.
national teams, including his son El Loquito that has been scoring in Liga MX. Who is your standout player for this World Cup?
This is really hard. Speaking, I am also a U.S. men's national team hater since I was little.
What am I doing here?
Mexico ride or die. But I will say Diego Luna is
Yes.
really a player. I'm just excited to see, honestly, his dedication to the U.S. I also love the U.S. I love, he is who he is, and he stands on his ground of like, yes, I'm Mexican-American, but I respect how much he loves the U.S., and I think that passion is going to take him far in the World Cup.
And you know what I also like? The fact that he has been so outspoken and doing so much work around mental health,
Yes.
Yeah.
which is an issue that among athletes is kind of taboo. You don't want people,
Yeah.
like you don't want the other players to feel like you are, weak or
Among men,
broken,
my
or
brother.
among men. And I know you've done a lot of work to bring awareness to this subject. So I feel like the more we have players that actually are outspoken, using their platform for good. This doesn't have to be directly political. You just have to be aware and intentional to be an example of good and an example of caring for the people that actually making you famous, right? I love Diego Luna. I think that he's gonna be. For me, I'm very, very excited for Haaland.
Oh,
I think that he has the opportunity
Good one.
to have a breakthrough World Cup, to put Norway in a place where they've never been, because I don't know how many backlines from the World Cup can stop him. He's such a machine.
Yeah.
And I love that now a country like Norway, just like many other smaller countries, might become protagonists, right? Like maybe they won't make it to the final, maybe they won't make it to the semifinal, but for sure we're gonna have great round of 16, round of 8 that might, surprise many. Who is left? ¿Quién lo ha dicho? Tú,
Bridge
faltas
and
tú.
me still have to go.
I think you brought up good point. You reminded me. I know we didn't really talk about Ukraine. They still have to qualify into the World Cup, qualifiers. But for me, thinking about Ukraine making it would mean giving Lewandowski a chance to get into the World Cup.
Yeah.
Making something happen
How
for
many
the
good
last
players are
time
not
too.
in the World Cup?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a whole nother conversation too.
Yeah.
But I think about Lewandowski, and I'm hoping something good comes from that for Ukraine. Also, the other side of the coin, right? The political aspect and the need for something to bring them together.
Yes.
So this could be that for their country. I think I like Gilberto Mora. Son, I think about Son, but the reason I think about Son is because I'm excited to see the impact that that'll bring for LA with the Korean and the Latino community, especially the Mexican side. We saw what happened when Korea came together and pulled up for Mexico back in, 2018? And so it'll be interesting to see what that looks like this year. But I think it'll bring that community closer, stronger together. So I'm excited to see
And
that.
then Korea going to Guadalajara, right?
Yeah.
That's huge, yeah.
I just did a podcast with, what's the name of it? It's from the Korean community. You know, we talk about, how's
Oh, yeah. We had them too.
Korea Away?
Korea Away,
Yeah.
of course,
I saw
of
that
course.
podcast. Yeah, we had
So,
them.
it's the connection is there. I remember when Sonny came for the first time to LA, we had the privilege as LUC fans to introduce him to the Korean community. I give him a sombrero de charro to welcome to LA. And I think Sonny is gonna do great in the World Cup. He has 90 minutes in his legs for every game, especially for the national team. Like I think he loves his country. He's gonna represent it the best way possible. And then jugando en Guadalajara en el Estadio Akron is gonna be.
Ramsey?
Yeah, I think so. I needed a little bit more time to think, but I was going through like the top teams, like the top contenders, right? And France made it to the last 2 World Cup finals. Obviously, the talent on the rosters is ridiculous. Kylian Mbappe is what he's done at the World Cup stage already at this point in his career is crazy. But I think they have Michael Olise, who plays for Bayern Munich, and really young. I think he was like 23 or 24. Played really well in the Olympics last summer, and he has that kind of like big tournament like experience even at that young age. Even though it's the Olympics, it's not really like the premier soccer competition, but he was doing really good stuff in qualifiers, and I think as dangerous as France is going to be with Mbappe, and the defense is going to be focused on Mbappe. I mean, Olise, they have Barcola coming off the bench. Like they're just a crazy roster, and I think he's going to be like a player super key for them if they want to make another deep run.
Just I want to do an honorable mention to Luis Diaz of Colombia. Probably one of the most informed strikers right now in the world. That goal that he scored like a month ago, where he went and got that ball like right outside, and that is the spirit that makes you win a World Cup. When you have a team and someone in your team that inspires you to play every ball to the margin, I'm excited to see. Guys, final thoughts. This has been a great conversation. We covered all. We started very, very cool jerseys. Then we go like deep into Ramsey, final thoughts for this special
to me, this
podcast?
is like when you grow up and you go to your friend's house.
Yeah.
Like, dang man, like you know, this is what it feels like. And talking with you guys, and it's always fun to talk with people that love the game and have like different perspectives. And so thank you guys again for helping set this up, because this has been incredible.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, definitely what Ramsey said. I don't want to leave. Mom, they have a pool.
Can I stay?
5 more minutes, I want to sleep over. No, so yeah, thank you for having us. It's been amazing.
No, yeah, I'd say the same thing. We appreciate it. I think we've talked about for so long getting together with other people in the podcasting world, especially in LA. So this is one of the first ones, and hopefully it's not the last
Not
time.
at all. Not at all. This was great, Cami.
Absolutely. You guys said you don't want to leave. Don't leave. Stay. Stay. I think, like you said, it's just so fun. People who really love the game. So natural, like just bouncing off of each other. And like you said, like this already made me think of so many things. So I'm just really excited. Yeah, it was great.
And with that, we come to an end of this crazy episode of LatiNation Football Club with our good friends of Urban Pitch. And I just want to say that the 6 of us, we're just a small sample of the many creators, hosts, journalists that are working hard here in LA to expand fandom, to create more understanding around what's happening on soccer here in the country. So I'm really, really happy to have you guys here, and I hope they come again many more times here on LatiNation Football Club.